this video is about. The single dad couldn't pay the rent. Then his daughter discovered a hidden fortune. If this story touches your heart, please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. Part 1. The Weight of the World. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the small town of Maplewood. It was a place where everybody knew everybody, where life moved slowly but surely, and where dreams sometimes withered in the unforgiving grip of reality. Among the vine-covered cottages and well-kept gardens, one house stood out not for its beauty, but for its disheveled appearance. The paint on the front door was chipped, and the lawn bore patchy spots where once vibrant grass had surrendered to neglect. Inside that modest home lived Alex Reynolds, a single father to 11-year-old Lily. He was a man with a heart full of love but a bank account that often ran on empty. Each month, as the rent came due, he found himself wrestling with the grim numbers. His job as a mechanic at the local garage paid the bills, but it didn't leave much room for extras like groceries, school supplies, or even the rare treat of a pizza on Friday nights. "Dad, can we have pizza tonight?" Lily asked, her big brown eyes sparkling with hope as she pushed a strand of dark hair behind her ear. She had inherited her mother's heart-shaped face and expressive features, but the depths of her gaze reflected the resilience she had learned from Alex. "We'll see, kiddo," he replied, forcing a smile. Inside, he felt the familiar knot tighten in his stomach. There were bills piled on the kitchen counter, each one a reminder of the financial struggles he faced. Still, he wanted to keep her spirits high, to shield her from the burdens he carried. "Can I help with dinner?" she offered, her voice brightening the heavy air that surrounded them. "Sure, let's whip up something together," he said, grateful for her enthusiasm. They moved into the cramped kitchen, a space that had seen better days. The linoleum floor was worn, and the walls adorned with drawings and magnets showed the passage of time and shared moments. As they prepared a simple meal of macaroni and cheese, Lily chatted about her day, her favorite subjects, her friends, and the upcoming school play. Alex listened intently, his heart swelling with pride but also tinged with worry. He hoped she wouldn't notice the way his mind drifted to the rent-due notice pinned on the fridge like a haunting specter. "Dad, can I invite Sarah over after school tomorrow?" Lily asked, her voice breaking him from his thoughts. "Of course. Just let me know when she's coming," he replied, making a mental note to make sure they had enough snacks. The last thing he wanted was for Lily's friends to see them as the family that couldn't afford anything. As they finished dinner, the faint sound of the clock ticking seemed to amplify the silence of their modest home. Alex glanced at the time and sighed. It was getting late, and he needed to finish some paperwork for work. "Hey, I'll help you with your homework after I complete a few things, okay?" "Okay, Dad," Lily said, her voice brightening the dim kitchen. With a soft pat on her shoulder, he retreated to the small desk in the corner of the living room. The cluttered space was filled with half-finished projects and a worn-out laptop, which he used to search for job opportunities that might help him make ends meet. Each click of the keyboard felt heavy, like a step deeper into a pit of confusion and despair. He had applied to countless positions, but the market was tough, and his skills felt increasingly outdated. In the other room, he could hear the soft sound of Lily humming a tune, her innocent voice weaving through the air and wrapping around him like a warm blanket. It was a momentary reprieve from the worry that gnawed at him. He had to stay strong for her. She was his world, his anchor amid the storm. After what felt like hours, Alex looked up from the screen, realizing the house had fallen silent. He peeked into the living room and found Lily sprawled on the carpet, her homework scattered around her like fallen leaves. "You still awake, sweetheart?" he asked softly. "I was just thinking," she replied, her brow furrowing slightly. "Can we go on a treasure hunt this weekend? It's been a while since we did something fun." A rush of warmth spread through Alex at her suggestion. "A treasure hunt, huh? What kind of treasure are we looking for?" he asked, kneeling beside her. "Anything, maybe treasure from pirates, or gold coins," she exclaimed, her eyes lighting up with excitement. "All right, let's make it a plan," he said, nodding. "We'll find hidden treasure this weekend, and I'll be your trusty captain." "Yay," she cheered, her laughter echoing in the small room. "But we'll need a map." Alex chuckled. "Of course, let's make a map tonight. We can draw it out together." They spent the next hour crafting a makeshift treasure map that led to X marks across the living room floor, the kitchen, and even the backyard. It was a whimsical adventure, one that allowed them to forget the weight of their reality, if only for a little while. As bedtime approached, Alex tucked Lily into her small bed, the soft glow from her bedside lamp illuminating her sleeping form. He sat on the edge of the bed, brushing a tender hand over her hair. "You know, you make every day feel like an adventure," he whispered. Lily stirred, her eyelids fluttering open. "Thanks, Dad. You're the best treasure I could ever ask for." His heart squeezed tightly in his chest at her words. Even amidst their struggles, moments like this reminded him of the importance of their bond. "I'll always be here for you," he promised, leaning down to place a soft kiss on her forehead. Once she was asleep, he retreated to the living room and sat down heavily on the threadbare couch. The weight of the world felt especially burdensome that night. He took a deep breath, staring at the pile of bills that seemed to grow taller every week. It was a constant reminder of his inadequacies, of his fear that he wouldn't be able to provide a stable home for Lily. Just then, he heard a soft, rustling sound coming from the corner of the living room. He turned to find Lily's old toy chest, a wooden box that had been handcrafted by his father years ago. Its lid was slightly ajar, and the familiar sight tugged at his heartstrings. It had been years since Lily had played with the toys inside. They were relics of a time when she was younger and more carefree. Curiosity piqued, Alex stood up and walked over to the chest. He lifted the lid, a cloud of dust swirling into the air. Inside, he saw the remnants of childhood. Stuffed animals, a collection of action figures, and colorful building blocks. But something else caught his eye. An old, faded box that looked like it had seen better days. With a gentle tug, he pulled the box out, its weight surprising him. As he opened it, a glimmer of something shiny caught the light. He gasped as he revealed a small pile of old coins, glistening like forgotten treasures. His heart raced as he picked up a few, examining them closely. They were vintage, some dating back to a time long gone. "What in the world?" he murmured, a mix of disbelief and hope washing over him. Could this be a hidden fortune? Could this discovery change everything? As he sifted through the coins, he felt an unfamiliar flutter of excitement in his chest. For the first time in what felt like ages, a glimmer of possibility began to spark in his mind. But as quickly as the hope flared, doubt crept back in. What if they were worth nothing? What if it was just a small amount that wouldn't even cover a single rent payment? But still, what if? With newfound determination, Alex set the coins aside, promising himself he would explore their value tomorrow. Maybe, just maybe, this was the fortune that could lighten their burdens and create a path toward a brighter future for both him and Lily. The weight of the world felt a little lighter, and for the first time in a long while, Alex allowed himself to dream. Part 2, The Glimmer of Hope. Morning light filtered through the thin curtains that adorned the small kitchen window, bathing the room in a gentle glow. Alex Reynolds stood at the counter, his fingers wrapped around a steaming mug of coffee as he leaned against the worn countertop. The scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the faint aroma of burnt toast from the toaster, creating a familiar morning melody that, under different circumstances, might have felt comforting. In the dining area, Lily was sprawled across the table, her head nestled in her arms, the remnants of last night's treasure map project strewn about like confetti. She was still wearing her pajamas, the fabric slightly crumpled, and her hair was tousled from sleep. Alex couldn't help but smile at the sight. Despite their struggles, moments like these reminded him of the joy and innocence of childhood. "Hey, sleepyhead," he said, bringing the mug to his lips. "You're going to miss breakfast if you don't get up soon." Lily lifted her head slowly, her eyelids fluttering open like the petals of a blooming flower. "What time is it?" she asked groggily, wiping a bit of drool from her cheek. "Late enough that I hope you're ready for a treasure hunt today," Alex teased, setting down his mug and moving to the toaster. He popped out the toast, its surface slightly burnt but still edible. He placed the slice on a plate and slid it across the table toward her. Her eyes brightened at the mention of the treasure hunt, and she sat up straight. "Really? We're going today?" "Absolutely. I've got a surprise for you, too," he said, trying to keep the excitement in his voice muted to avoid overwhelming her. The coins he'd discovered last night were now hidden away in his pocket, and he intended to take her on a little adventure in the backyard first. "Is it a treasure map? I love maps," she exclaimed, already rifling through the remnants of their previous project. "Not exactly a map," he replied, trying to maintain an air of mystery. "It's something we can look for together. You're not going to make me dig through the dirt, are you?" she asked, her eyebrows knitting together in faux seriousness, though a glimmer of mischief sparkled in her eyes. "Only if you promise to wear gloves," Alex chuckled, joining her at the table. "Now finish your breakfast and then we'll get started." After breakfast, the two of them donned old clothes and headed outside, the sun shining brightly overhead. Lily bounded ahead, her laughter ringing in the air like music, and for a moment the weight of their struggles felt distant. Alex watched her, his heart swelling with pride and love. He couldn't shake the feeling that today might be the start of something extraordinary, something that might redefine their future. "All right, Captain Lily," he said, positioning himself beside her in the grassy expanse of their backyard. "Let's see what treasures we can uncover today. Where do we start?" she asked, eyes wide with anticipation. "Let's start with the old tree," he suggested, pointing toward the gnarled oak that had been their silent witness for years. "I think it might be hiding something." Together they approached the tree. Alex knelt down, running his fingers through the roots that protruded from the ground like jagged fingers. "What do you think, Lily? Is there treasure buried here?" Lily crouched beside him, her excitement palpable. "Maybe it's a pirate's chest," she whispered, her eyes sparkling with imagination. "Or maybe a secret stash of candy," he added playfully, and they both giggled, the sound filling the air with warmth. As they dug into the soft soil, Alex felt a tug of realization about why he had brought her here. The coins were a symbol of hope, a small fortune that could lead to brighter days. But more than that, today was about connection, about building memories that would last a lifetime. After a few minutes of searching, Alex unearthed a small, rusty tin box. It wasn't much, but the excitement on Lily's face was worth more than gold. "Look what we found," he exclaimed, lifting it high like a trophy. "What's inside?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "Let's find out." He opened the box, revealing a few old marbles, a handful of crumpled notes, and what seemed to be a broken compass. They shared a moment of disappointment mixed with humor. "It's not quite a pirate's treasure, is it?" Lily laughed, but her eyes were still alight with wonder. "Not what we expected, but still special," Alex said, his heart aching with love for his daughter. "These are pieces of our past, reminders of our adventures." "Can we keep them?" she asked, her voice filled with the earnestness only a child could possess. "Of course. We'll display them on the shelf, a reminder that treasures come in all shapes and sizes," he replied, tucking the box under his arm. As they continued their search, a sense of calm washed over Alex. He felt a fleeting sense of normalcy, an escape from the pressures that loomed over their lives. Each dig into the earth felt like an act of defiance against the anxiety that had taken root in his heart. "Dad," Lily suddenly called out, breaking his reverie. "Come quick." Alex rushed over to where she was kneeling beside a cluster of wildflowers. "What did you find?" "Look," she pointed excitedly at a shiny object half buried in the grass. Hesitating for a moment, Alex leaned down and brushed away the dirt. As he did, a familiar glint caught his eye. It was another coin, but this one was unlike the others he had found last night. It was larger, with intricate designs etched into its surface. "Wow," he breathed, lifting it gently. "This one looks special." "Is it treasure?" she asked, eyes wide with hope. "I think it might be," he replied, examining it closely. Memories of the coins he had discovered the night before flooded back, and for the first time that day, his heart raced not from anxiety but from excitement. "Can we keep it?" she asked, bouncing on her toes. "Definitely," he said, slipping it into his pocket. "But I think we should research it when we go inside. Who knows what kind of stories it holds?" "Yay, we're going to be treasure hunters," she squealed, throwing her arms around him. Alex chuckled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "You know, Lily, today has been one of the best treasure hunts ever, but I think our real treasure is the time we get to spend together." As they made their way back inside, laughter spilling over into the afternoon light, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, they were on the brink of something life-changing. Later that day, the two of them settled at the table with a laptop in front of them, the coin between them glimmering with promise. "What are we going to find out?" Lily asked, her anticipation palpable. "Let's start with the year it was minted," Alex said, typing in a few keywords. As they scrolled through images, he felt a rush of adrenaline. The coin, as it turned out, was an old collector's item, one that could fetch a surprising amount on the market. "Dad, look," Lily exclaimed, pointing to the screen. "There are people who collect these." His heart fluttered at the thought. "I think we might have hit a small jackpot, sweetheart." "Does that mean we can get pizza tonight?" she asked, eyes sparkling. "Absolutely. Maybe even a whole pizza party with your friends," he said, his voice filled with warmth. As they planned their evening, laughter and excitement punctuated the air, filling the room with the kind of joy that had been missing from their lives for far too long. Just then, Alex's phone buzzed on the table. It was a message from the landlord, a reminder that rent was due next week. For a moment, the weight of the world threatened to crash down again, but he took a deep breath, grounding himself in the moment. He looked at Lily's beaming face, and a surge of determination ignited within him. "Hey, how about we make a plan?" Alex said, drawing her focus back to him. "We can save up from the coin and have a little family fun day." Lily's eyes lit up. "You mean like a day at the park with ice cream?" "Exactly," Alex chuckled, feeling buoyed by her enthusiasm. "Let's celebrate every small win. This coin could be the first step." Together, they mapped out their dreams, their conversations filled with laughter and plans for the future. In that moment, Alex felt a renewed sense of hope. There would be challenges ahead, but he was ready to face them, one day at a time, with Lily by his side and perhaps even a little fortune to brighten their journey. Part 3, The Ripple Effect. The days that followed Lily's discovery of the coin unfolded like a delicate origami crane, each moment carefully crafted and filled with the promise of something beautiful. The initial thrill of finding the coin had ignited a lively spark in their household, and for the first time in a long while, laughter replaced the heavy silence that often clung to their conversations. That Saturday morning, Alex woke up to the sound of Lily humming a cheerful tune as she danced around the kitchen. her ponytail bobbing enthusiastically with every step. The sun poured in through the window, illuminating the countless drawings taped to the fridge, each one a testament to Lily's vivid imagination. "Good morning, Captain Lily," he called out, pouring himself another cup of coffee. "What's the plan for our treasure day?" Lily spun around dramatically, as if she were a character in one of the adventures they often invented together. "Today, we're going to the park. I heard they have a treasure hunt event happening." "Treasure hunt at the park, huh? Sounds like a perfect mission for two brave adventurers." Alex grinned, buoyed by her enthusiasm. For an instant, his worries about rent and bills faded into the background. Lily clapped her hands together, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Can we get ice cream afterward?" she asked, bouncing on the balls of her feet. "Absolutely. Ice cream is a vital part of our treasure hunting toolkit," he replied, chuckling as he watched her bound around. As they shared breakfast, a simple yet hearty meal of pancakes and syrup, Lily rattled off ideas for their day, her voice a steady stream of ideas and dreams. Alex listened intently, his heart swelling with pride. She was a bright light in his otherwise challenging life, and it was moments like these that reminded him of the joy they shared. "Before we head out, do you want to count the coins we found?" he suggested, still thinking about the small fortune that might soon change their lives. Lily's face lit up at the mention of the coins, and she nodded vigorously. "Yes, I want to see how many we need to save up for a pizza party." They moved to the living room, where Alex had placed the coins in a small glass jar. He carefully unscrewed the lid and poured them out onto the table, a satisfying clinking sound ringing in the air. "Let's see what we've got here," he said, smiling at Lily's eager expression. They began sorting the coins, exchanging playful banter and encouraging each other to guess the values of each piece. Every time Lily found an unusual coin, she squealed with delight. "Dad, look at this one. It has an eagle on it." "That one's special. It's a commemorative coin," he explained, excitement bubbling up within him as he realized how much they had. "These could be worth a lot if we find the right collectors. I can't wait to tell Sarah. She loves cool stuff like this," Lily declared, her mind already racing to share their treasure with her friends. Alex smiled, imagining how proud Lily would be to show off their newfound fortune. "Let's keep it a secret for now. We can unveil the treasure at the pizza party." As they wrapped up their count, Alex felt the shadows of anxiety begin to creep back in. The landlord's message still loomed in the back of his mind, a constant reminder of the ticking clock. But he shook off the worry, choosing instead to focus on Lily's laughter and the warmth of their shared joy. Later that morning, they headed to Maplewood Park, a lush expanse of greenery alive with laughter and the sounds of children playing. As they arrived, they were greeted by a flurry of activity. Families were gathered around tables, balloons floated in the air, and children raced around, their laughter ringing out like music. "Look, Dad," Lily exclaimed, pointing excitedly toward a sign that read, "Annual Treasure Hunt. Join the fun and discover hidden treasures." "This is it," Alex said, feeling a rush of adrenaline as they approached the registration booth. After signing up, they received their treasure maps, which were decorated with whimsical drawings and dotted with potential hiding spots around the park. Lily studied the map closely, her brow furrowed in concentration. "We have to find the X marks. That's where the treasures are." "Let's get our hunting gear ready, Captain," Alex replied, lifting the backpack he had packed with snacks and water. "We'll need our strength for the adventure ahead." They set off, following the map's winding paths, Lily leading the way, her excitement infectious. They stopped at various spots, digging in the earth, searching under bushes and peering into trees. Though the treasures they unearthed were mostly trinkets and fun little toys, each find felt like a victory. "Look, a friendship bracelet," Lily exclaimed, holding up a colorful woven piece. "I'm going to wear it forever." "That's a fantastic find," Alex said enthusiastically, feeling the warmth of her joy wash over him. It was a simple bracelet, yet it symbolized the special bond they shared in this moment. As the afternoon sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden hues across the park, they finally approached the last marked spot on their map, the mysterious oak. "This is it," Lily whispered, her eyes wide with anticipation. "The treasure is definitely here." They dropped to their knees and began digging, their hands working in tandem as they laughed and teased each other about who would find the best prize. After a few moments, Alex's fingers brushed against something cool and metallic. "Lily, I think I found it," he exclaimed, pulling out a small, decorative metal chest, its surface stained with rust but still beautiful. "Open it, open it," she squealed, bouncing with excitement. With a gentle tug, he lifted the lid, revealing a collection of colorful stones and a folded piece of parchment. Lily leaned closer, her eyes shining with wonder. "What does it say?" she asked breathlessly. Alex unfolded the parchment, and his eyes scanned the whimsical script. "It looks like a poem about friendship and adventure. It says something about sharing treasures with those you love." "That's perfect," Lily beamed. "We have to keep it and remember our treasure hunt together." "Yes, we will," Alex replied, his heart swelling with emotion. In that moment, he realized that it wasn't just about the coins or the treasures they found. It was about the memories they created together, the laughter shared amid their challenges. As they made their way back to the park entrance, the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. They found an ice cream stand, and amidst giggles and joyous exclamations, they treated themselves to cones overflowing with bright, colorful scoops. "Best treasure hunt ever, right?" Lily said, her face smeared with ice cream, her joy palpable. "Absolutely," Alex replied, feeling lighter than he had in weeks. Each moment spent with her was a reminder of what mattered most: family, laughter, and love. As they walked home hand in hand, the potential of their newfound fortune lingered in the back of his mind, yet it felt different now. The weight of the world hadn't disappeared, but it felt manageable, even lightened. Hope clung to him like the soft evening breeze, whispering promises of brighter days to come. That evening, as they settled down together to watch a movie, Lily curled up against him, her head resting on his shoulder. During a particularly exciting scene, she jumped up, her eyes alight with inspiration. "Dad, can we write our own treasure adventure story? Maybe one day we can find a real treasure map." "I love that idea," he said, feeling a spark of creativity ignite within him. "Let's make it an adventure we write together." "Okay, you can be the brave adventurer and I'll be the clever sidekick," she giggled. As they began to brainstorm ideas, Alex felt the shadows of worry fade further into the background. Their future remained uncertain, but he was beginning to believe in the magic of possibilities. No matter the challenges that lay ahead, he would face them armed with love, laughter, and Lily by his side. And in that moment, it was enough. Part 4. The ripple turns to a wave. The following morning broke with a brilliant display of sunlight filtering through the sheer curtains of the Reynolds home. Alex awoke to the familiar sound of Lily's laughter floating down the hallway, a melody that instantly warmed his heart. As he stretched and rubbed the sleep from his eyes, he couldn't help but smile at the thought of all they had experienced together. The treasure hunt, the laughter, the bond that seemed to grow stronger with each new adventure. "Dad, come quick!" Lily's voice echoed from the living room, urgency laced with excitement. He quickly threw on a wrinkled pair of jeans and a t-shirt before racing down the hallway, curiosity piqued. "What is it, Captain Lily?" he called, chuckling as he entered the living room. There she was, sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by a small mountain of papers and art supplies. "Did you discover buried treasure in the living room?" "Even better," she exclaimed, holding up a brightly colored crayon drawing that depicted a pirate ship sailing across a vast ocean. "I'm making a treasure map for our next adventure, and I need your help." Alex's heart swelled with pride. "A treasure map, huh? What's the treasure this time?" Lily's eyes sparkled with mischief. "It's a magical treasure hidden in Maplewood, guarded by a dragon. We'll have to go on an epic quest to find it." "Well, then we better get to work," he said, moving to sit beside her on the floor. They spread out her drawings, each one more colorful and imaginative than the last. "What do you think we should include on our map?" Lily tapped her chin thoughtfully. "How about a mountain and a dark cave where the dragon sleeps?" "Perfect," Alex said, spurred by her infectious enthusiasm. As they worked together, he couldn't help but feel that the act of creating the treasure map was more than just a fun project. It was a moment where their imaginations intertwined, creating a bridge between their realities and dreams. Meanwhile, the coins they had discovered lingered at the edges of his mind. A flicker of hope nestled in his pocket, as if waiting for the right moment to burst forth. He knew he needed to act soon, to validate their worth and possibly change their lives. But today was about Lily. She deserved this joy, this moment of pure, unfiltered delight. After a couple of hours, their treasure map was complete, a vibrant tapestry that told the story of their upcoming adventure. Lily held it up triumphantly. "Look, Dad, it's so beautiful." "It really is," he agreed, marveling at the colors and the details she had woven into it. "I can already feel the excitement of exploring this magical land." As if sensing the shift in his thoughts, Lily leaned closer, her smile unabated. "Can we start the adventure today?" "Of course, but first, how about breakfast? I think adventurers need to be well fed before they embark on epic quests," he said, rising from the floor and offering her a hand. Together, they made their way to the kitchen, the sounds of clinking dishes and bubbling pots filling the air. Alex flipped pancakes while Lily poured syrup, their laughter echoing as they playfully competed over who could stack the highest. "Okay, Captain, what do you want to put on your pancake?" he asked, glancing over at her enthusiastic grin. "Chocolate chips, they're the secret treasure," she declared, and he couldn't resist rolling his eyes in mock exasperation. "Of course, how could I forget? Every great adventurer knows chocolate chips are essential," he replied, adding a generous number to her pancake. After breakfast, they donned their exploration gear, a mismatched collection of hats, scarves, and boots that made them look more like whimsical characters than serious adventurers. With the homemade treasure map in hand, they set off into the backyard, the sun shining brightly overhead. "Okay, according to the map, we need to head toward the Mountain of Dreams, which is really just that big pile of rocks by the fence," Alex said, pointing to a slightly overgrown area. Lily giggled, her eyes wide with anticipation. "Let's go, but we have to be quiet so the dragon doesn't hear us." They crept dramatically toward the pile, pretending to tiptoe on tiptoes, their giggles muffled as they approached. Once they reached the mountain, Alex knelt down beside it, pretending to search for hidden treasures. "Look, I found something," he exclaimed, reaching behind a rock and pulling out an old, rusted toy car. "It must be a part of the treasure." Lily gasped, her imagination running wild. The dragon must have dropped it when it was racing across the mountain. "Exactly," he said, holding it out to her. The sight of her joyous expression made his heart soar. It was moments like these that he needed to hold onto tightly, to remember that despite their struggles, they had each other and the magic of childhood to fuel their spirits. They spent the next hour exploring every inch of their backyard, creating stories of their finds, and searching for clues that might lead them closer to the dragon's lair. As they crouched behind bushes and climbed over makeshift obstacles, Alex felt a sense of peace settle over him, a temporary escape from the burdens pressing down on him. "Dad, I think we should make a list of the treasures we found today," Lily said, her face flushed with excitement. "Great idea. Let's document our findings," he replied, pulling out a notepad and pen that had somehow survived the chaos of their home. As they began to jot down their discoveries, a rusted toy car, a forgotten button, random stones, they heard the faint sound of footsteps approaching from the front of the yard. Who could that be? Alex wondered aloud, glancing toward the front of the house. To his surprise, it was Mrs. Jenkins, their elderly neighbor, holding a plate covered with a colorful cloth. "Good morning, Alex. Lily dear," she called out, a warm smile breaking across her face. "I brought you both some cookies. I thought you might enjoy a little treat on your adventure." "Thank you so much, Mrs. Jenkins," Lily exclaimed, rushing over to accept the plate. "These look amazing." Alex approached, grateful for her kindness. "You really didn't have to do this, but we appreciate it more than you know." "Oh, nonsense. You two are always so sweet, and I love seeing the joy you bring to this neighborhood. Besides, I figured you could use a little pick-me-up," she said, her eyes twinkling with genuine affection. As they chatted with Mrs. Jenkins, Alex felt a warm glow envelop him. It reminded him of the importance of community, how even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple through lives, brightening days that felt particularly heavy. After Mrs. Jenkins left, Lily and Alex settled back on the grass, cookies in hand. "These are the best cookies ever," Lily declared, her mouth full as she savored the sweet treat. "Agreed. They give us extra strength for our quest," Alex laughed, munching on one himself. "I can't wait to tell Sarah about our adventure and that we found treasure," Lily said, her face lighting up with enthusiasm. "Do you think she'll want to join us next time?" "Absolutely. The more, the merrier. Adventures are meant to be shared," he replied, imagining the two girls teaming up, their laughter echoing through the yard as they created new stories together. Later that afternoon, after finishing their cookie feast, they returned to the makeshift treasure map. "What's next on our agenda?" Alex asked, pretending to study it seriously. "Next, we journey to the Cave of Wonders, which is really just that old shed," Lily said, her finger tracing the path on the map. "But we have to be careful. The dragon might be lurking." They made their way to the shed, hearts racing with excitement. Inside, they found an assortment of forgotten tools and boxes filled with the remnants of past projects, an artist's forgotten dream. "This is amazing, a treasure trove of wonders," Alex declared, rummaging through the items. "Can we keep something, please?" Lily asked, her eyes wide. After some digging, they emerged with a small, colorful glass jar filled with marbles. "These will be perfect for our next adventure," Alex said. As they headed back toward the house, Alex's phone buzzed in his pocket, pulling him back to reality. His heart sank as he glanced at the screen. It was a message from their landlord, another reminder that rent was due soon. "Everything okay, Dad?" Lily asked, noticing his change in demeanor. "Yeah, just a message from the landlord. Nothing to worry about," he said, forcing a smile. But his mind raced, the worries creeping back in, threatening to overshadow the bright day they had enjoyed together. "Do you think we'll ever find real treasure?" Lily asked, her innocence cutting through the tension that had begun to settle over him. "I think we already have, sweetheart," Alex replied, kneeling beside her and cupping her face in his hands. "The real treasures are moments like these, the laughter we share, and the adventures we embark on together." "But what about the coins?" Lily pressed, her eyes searching his.